Hey, everybody. Welcome to Brush with Artists. We are in season 2, episode 5. And I would like to welcome you all tonight. And tonight we are going to be discussing studies and art because we've got really young people and young artists as guests for tonight's show. So let me just introduce my co host for tonight. And our co host is none other than our chief curator of Artstock PH, and that is Fabrian Morales. Hello, Fab.
Hello
How are you tonight?
everyone. I am doing great. It's raining outside and I like the weather so far. You look great, Mayor. Love your hair like that.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let me just stop my music. May music pa ako eh. I really love the music though. Maglagay tayo ng music.
Hey
Yan.
everyone. Thank you for
There.
joining us for another night of Brush with Artists. It's our weekly series of live conversations with our artists about their art, about their creative processes, their views on different topics and relevant issues. So, last week, Mary, we had a fun chat with our Electric Youth exhibiting artists, sila Ivy Pangilinan, Leon Storm, and Cabnov, about the influence of music and nature to their artistic processes.
Yes,
And
that's true.
tonight we will be joined by three more artists from our Electric Youth exhibit. So tonight we will be joined by Astrud Moscoso, Ciara Gan,
Mhm.
and Paulu Bruselas.
Okay, let's welcome them to the stream now. So we've got
Yes, that's
Kiara, we've got Paulo, and we've got Astrid. Hello. Hi, guys. How are you doing
Hello.
tonight?
Hi.
great.
Good. How are you?
Uh,
Oh my goodness. The day's been horrible for me. And not necessarily horrible, but I've been really busy because next week, as you all know, October 5th is when public schools are going to begin their classes. So we've
Oh.
been busy. That's why, Fab, you haven't been seeing me lately because we've been really busy preparing
yeah.
the teachers to for their online classes because wala na, modular na tayo for next week. Medyo mahirap. So we're going to
Mary,
be discussing that also on
congratulations
Saturday.
pala. Mary, congratulations on your Globe Telecom live stream the other day. You had an initial 80,
Ooh.
90,000 views.
Oh, wow,
Congrats
wow.
on
Thank
that
you.
one.
Is that
I think the,
for the Google Classroom? Oo. Thank you so much to Globe My Business
yes.
for inviting me and for Google for Education. Ayan, that was a Google Classroom seminar. We did it again, but this time in a closed group. Kasi may paraffle, so closed group yung susunod on September 30th. So, again, with Globe My Business. Thank you so much for that, Globe. Ayan, so everybody, I'd like to, again, we have around 13 viewers now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any comments or questions for our artists, just don't forget to just put that into the comment section in Facebook as well as on YouTube. So we are currently live on Facebook, in YouTube, and in Periscope. So if you're on Twitter, we're also live on Twitter. I'm a Twitter fan, so I like when it's live on Twitter also. Matanda na ako eh. Maybe in the future we can be live on TikTok, but I don't know if TikTok has
Oh.
live. May live ba yung TikTok?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't have TikTok.
You don't do TikTok ba?
No.
No? Ako kasi,
Hi.
I'm actually,
Ah.
hello! Ba't mukha siyang stuffed toy? Parang siyang hindi totoo.
Yeah, naka-diaper nga siya eh. Okay, go down.
Actually, I think
Ayan.
for me it's preferable if we can go live simultaneously with Instagram because I think Instagram is a
No.
more visual arts.
That is true, but it's also
Hi,
limited. Right
baby.
now, it's limiting their,
Voice gets smaller
I think their
whenever you see
access.
dog.
Ayan. I'm just kind of I'm looking at it and Instagram live kasi parang it's not really that friendly to third party streamers and we're using a third party right now. So hindi siya ganun
Mm-hmm.
ka-friendly. I've they
All
did tell
right,
me that
so
Criteria na ganun nga
How
daw.
question
Ayan.
pala guys. Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have a little bit of delay, but
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear you fine. Oo. A bit lang. Oo. Ayan. All right. So let me just push my screen for you guys so that you can see it. There you go. So everybody who's watching right now, if you would like to get a copy of this presentation is available in bit.ly/bwa S2E5. Kung mahirap tandaan, isipin nyo na lang, Brush with Artist Season 2, Episode 5. Okay? So again, that's bit.ly/bwa S2E5. So that is our presentation for today. It contains links to our artists' profiles as well as links to their art. Just in case you would like to collect their art, I put in the links over there in this presentation as well. Ayan, meron na tayong isang fan saying love you,
Love you
Yeah.
too, Lisa.
There. So we've got lots and lots of questions for you because there were many questions that were submitted today. So we're gonna go over them in a few. But firstly, ayan, nawala si Fab. Ayan, bago tayo, hintayin natin si Fabrian. But while we're waiting for Fab, let me just ask one of the questions in here for you guys. Sabi dito, how do you balance studies and your art career? Yeah, this is for everybody.
Funny question. Kala mo binabalance ko.
Anong balance? Ayan. How do you balance your studies and your art career? Ayan. That's one of the questions. Sino ba nagtanong nito? Let me see. That is a question by Mark. Ayan.
Who wants to go?
Um, okay. Since
So who wants
I'm
to go
taking
first? Okay, go ahead, Astrid.
since I'm taking up architecture, which is not so far in the field of painting, I would always genuinely have time for studying and making art. They're both interconnected in a way for me. It is a combination of artistry and technicality, having this deep connection that unites them through design and each of their individual meanings. They are simultaneously expressive and commutative that shows a sense in balancing. So, as an
Okay.
artist experiencing both of these artistic fields, I am in love in visually expressing complex set of ideas. At the same time, the audience receives those different impressions. So,
Mm.
I see. That's really mature of you, actually. Siguro ako pag tinanong mo ako niyan, ang sagot ko dyan, anong balance?
Yeah, same.
What
I was like,
balance are you?
oh, okay, gotta
Yeah,
step
ako
up
rin.
my answer now. Oh no.
Pero
Um,
grabe, alam mo, Astrud, I'm really a fan of you, your work, as well as some of the achievements. I've been seeing your stories as well. I've been seeing your achievements in your school. Ang galing.
thank
Nakakabilib yun. Ako,
you.
gusto ko yung mga ganun eh. Medyo achiever levels.
Mm,
Siyempre,
thank
matagal na
you.
akong, I have forgotten how it is to be in school. So, uh, well, as a student, but right now I'm teaching teachers. But I know na medyo mahirap din talaga to balance. Ayan, ikaw, Paolo, how do you achieve
Uh,
that? How do you strike that
well,
balance?
um, I first lang, it's I just wanna correct yung pronunciation. Pero everyone gets it wrong naman eh. It's Polu or
Ah,
Polu.
it's
Oh,
Pero
Polu.
okay lang.
Okay. All
mm.
right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
I
good. Thank
it's
you for
fine.
correcting.
Only
Okay,
I can
everyone,
remember.
my name too is Shara.
Oo.
What do you say?
People
Oo.
think
Ah,
it's Shara. No, it's
oh,
Kiara, but people think it's Shara.
so it's Shara.
Yes.
So it's
It's
Ciara.
Kiara.
It's Kiara.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember kasi with me, it's only one instant that someone ever got it right, which is a waitress in Ramenagi. So nagulat pa ako.
Oh,
All the
congratulations.
people in my life, this is the one person gets it. But yeah, anyway, for me it's hard to balance it. It's a difficult thing to balance. Like one always gets sacrificed eh. Like siguro like ako now kasi I'm taking my MA in film. So it's mostly though it's research based. For me, it's been taking a longer time especially in the thesis part. Kasi I enjoy painting so much eh. I get distracted eh. Like I start the project, tapos all my attention goes there na. Tapos
Okay.
it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to balance. Pero
Uh-oh.
they get done naman. It's just ayun, in my experience, it's harder for me.
That's
Ayan,
so
thank you,
interesting. Your
Paulo.
course is ano, film.
Ayan.
Yeah.
See.
Di ba?
And then Astrid's course is architecture. That's my sister's course too, but in
Oh, really?
UST.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Ah,
wow.
she's doing her thesis now, like right now, at this
Oh,
moment.
damn.
Typing over there. Yeah.
Tell her good
Ayan.
luck.
You guys
How about
like
you,
I love your
Kiara? You're
courses.
balancing, Kiara, you're balancing both your studies as well as your art and of course your YouTube
Yes.
career. And I would always call it a career. If you're a serious YouTuber, it takes up so much time. So how do you balance it all?
I guess for school, I really have like days that I specifically have to study. Like today was my study day. Like I had to finish a lot of things before this live.
Mm-mm.
So I have my own set of days for studying. I have my own set of days for YouTube, and then
Mm-mm.
I barely have a set of days for resting. So, art kind of just comes in there whenever. Kunwari, I have to make a video, and it's like art related, or if I have to or if I have to make an artwork for like a show or something. But that's usually I don't really get to make art as much as I want to. So
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So at least parang it's nice that you say all of these things like the three of you kasi I'm not really a fan of multitasking. Like people tell me
yeah.
na naku magaling ka mag-multitask. I actually don't multitask. I
Yeah. I
really
hate
like
it.
pour 100% into whatever it is that I'm
I thought.
doing. 'Di ba?
Same.
Dun ka lang
Mm.
muna, alam mo 'yon, and then next, gano'n ako. Mas sequential than
Yeah.
a
Ako rin.
multitasker. There. Thank you so
Yeah, I
much,
can see.
Fab. Welcome back to the stream,
Hi.
and let me just again, I'm sharing my screen here, and let me just open up with Astrud's profile here. So Astrud is an architect in the making. Ayan, siguro Fab, I'll let you be the one to introduce her.
Hello, Astrud. So Astrud is one of the youngest in our roster of artists at Artstock PH, and she's an architect in the making. She's known for her acid palette, and whenever you look at her art, she would always have her subjects, her female subjects that are always they always have this blank stares and like blank expression, but her paintings are almost always really bright and colorful. So I'm really a fan of her art because she's able to. Same with Kiara, same with Paolo. They've all have this signature style at a young age. So hi Astrid,
Hello.
do you want to add something to that? Introduce yourself to the audience and like you know
Um,
tell them who
yeah,
you
I'm Astrud Moscoso. I'm studying VS Architecture in College of St. Benilde, and my main medium in painting is acrylic.
are.
The palette that I'm using is acid and vibrant colors.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
There,
Yeah.
really good. So we've got some people as well on our comment stream, and I'd like to say hello to Lisa, to Veronica Kalalang, saying I love you, Ate Ciara. I sorry, Kiara, and Nika Valdez Tamon, and Riona Villaflor. Thank you so much for watching today. So Astrud, meron tayo ditong question for you. How does it feel? This is a question from Harv. How does it feel being a young artist that has achieved a lot? Any tips for young students on finding your own path?
Oh, wow, thank you so much. But I cannot say that I have achieved a lot. There are a lot more dreams and goals in mind, but at the moment, I'm really genuinely happy with what I'm doing right now. So, as a young artist, my tips on finding your own path is to discover where to spend your life in every single day or even every second, to where you want to put your heart and soul into your work, because your path will be your lifetime.
Oh.
There, I love that. Di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo, si Astrid always has wise words eh. I'm gonna have to quote you, Astrid, on that later on. And I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna share some
Actually,
of the stuff.
I have to mention this. One of our artist friend, C1111, also mentioned that to me, and this is in a private conversation. And she said, "Fab, how did you discover Astrud? She's so wise for her age. Her
Or the
quotes
old
in her
world.
videos are always like, where did she draw her inspiration? And yeah, where do you draw these inspirations, Astrud? Because whenever we work on your narratives for your pieces, I'm really astounded with the things you come up with. They're amazing.
Oh, thank you. Probably it's the reading of books.
Oh,
Mm,
I love it.
Yeah, I really love
Mary.
reading.
Yeah, I do believe that, if you don't read, it's gonna be difficult for you to develop as a human being, develop the necessary things, for compassion,
Mm-hmm.
di ba? A better
Yeah.
worldview, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah.
Kindness. Those are actually things that you can develop just by reading. And
Mm-hmm.
people, you can see it when people don't read, they don't get that much experience outside of, especially kung di naman sila nagta-travel, di ba? Travel also
Mm-hmm.
does that. Travel can do that, reading can do that. So, yeah, I love that you read. It's great. Ako, I read every day. We were just talking about it in the backstage kanina ni Paolo, that
Yeah.
I have a 500 book goal every year.
Oh
So I
wow.
read, at least I try to hit
Wow.
it. I'm for the last 3 years I've been hitting only mga 320 ganyan. But the last time I hit it nga, 'di ba, 2016.
Only.
501 books in 2016. Ayan. I hope I do it
Yeah,
again.
that's really
Yan.
one book a day.
One book per day and more on the weekend. There. So
Mm.
that's Astrud for you. Thank you so much, Astrud. We'll be coming back to you later to check out your art, which is your submission for Electric Youth. There. So
Mm-hmm.
Kiara, I decided to put the blacklight version of
Oh,
your vivid art here
Piece.
video,
Yeah.
in your
yes.
background instead of using the non-blacklight version. Kasi parang maganda, di ba? Na glow in the
Para
dark
iba.
there.
Parang
So, Fab, please
yeah.
go ahead.
Kiara. Kiara is a self-taught visual artist, and again, she's one of the youngest in our roster of artists. I worked with Kiara last year when we had an exhibit for Flores de Mayo, and we had
Mm.
May Day
Wow.
exhibit last year, and we featured her Everglow gown. So it's her famous gown that she painted and actually created. Um, Kiara, it's handmade, right? The whole gown.
I
Tama
sewed
ba?
it in a sewing
There you
machine.
go.
Does that count?
And it went. The gown went crazy. It went viral. She gathered interviews from even from BuzzFeed, I believe, and CNN.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Kiara's style is I'd like to call it your floral impastos.
Yeah.
Actually, they're
I think you
they're,
coined that. I was like,
they're
okay, that
always
makes sense.
they're
Diba?
always beautiful and they're always textured. It's the type of art that you'd like to always just stare at and gives you it makes any place beautiful. Kiara, can you introduce yourself to the audience
Hi, my name is
and to your
Ciara.
you're watching?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ciara, not Shara. I'm a student and YouTuber and artist. Um, what else? um, yeah, so I'm a student in Ateneo de Manila University. I'm studying Management Information Systems, which is not really not related to art. I
Not at all.
actually, yeah, I actually only started professionally painting last year, and my first exhibit ever was the one that Fab got me on. That's why like I owe so much to her because that was one of like the most important days of my life, and I don't know, I just love that day so much. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. So from that exhibit, I've grown more and tried to develop my style. That's why I did Vivid because it's not something that's like usually what I would make. Because I usually make like florals, if you can see over there, just over there. Yeah, so I usually make florals, but I'd like to think that even though if I just have like one art style, I can still explore it and share it with people, and maybe
Yes.
other people would like to see that. And
Mm-mm.
I have like a series ongoing on my channel where I paint feelings. So I'm trying to get into that more. I've only done two so far. And yeah, yes.
Ayan, nice. Really good. Thank you so much, Kiara. Now, meron tayo ditong question for you. If you could paint your... Actually, maraming tanong eh. Meron mga what if your horoscope dito eh. Mamaya na natin
Ah,
sagutin.
di, yun.
For everybody daw, what are your horoscopes? Mamaya, sasagutin namin yan. But
I'll
for
be trying to
now,
stereotype
I
us.
see that some of the questions have already been answered by you. Like, a lot of them were curious when you started painting, and thank you for answering that. I think there's and may mga hindi questions like, not really a question, pero I love you so much, you are my art inspiration. Ito yung tanong sa'yo, who or what is your muse when you make art?
My muse. I don't necessarily have one. Like, I just look at whatever inspires me, and usually my quote unquote muse is just how I'm feeling. Like if I feel like I want
Mm-mm.
to paint that day, or if I want, it's just like my self motivation to paint because I don't really have anyone to look at, and I don't really paint people,
Mhm.
so I don't think
Mm.
I have a muse in that sort of way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ayan, thank you. There. So let me just go to my next one now, which is Paulu. Ngayon ko
Follow.
lang nalaman that
Yeah,
I'm supposed to pronounce your name that way. Thank you for correcting me kanina.
Polu.
Ayan,
it's okay.
there. So,
Oh,
Fab?
Polu. Okay, hello. I've been pronouncing it Paolo.
Yeah, everyone
Uh,
gets it wrong naman eh. It was only, I was telling them kanina, it was only ever one time in my life na someone got it right. Usually it's a
yeah.
So
difficult,
it's Polu.
somehow it's hard to process in the brain. Yeah, it's Polu. Polu or Polu.
Polu.
Either or ano.
Mary, I just noticed that our artists have really interesting names and
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
pronunciations. That's really
Hard to
cool.
pronounce names.
Look at my name.
Yeah,
It's so common.
Who
Marianne.
is it?
Oo.
Now,
Nakalimutan na
Polu,
tatay ko yung pangalan. Here, go.
Paulu Bruselas is a visual artist and a historian of early silent cinema. This is really interesting because you are the first historian of early silent cinema that I've
Yeah,
ever
there are
met,
very few. There are
Paulu.
very few, like a handful.
And also the very first artist that I've met who does this type of art. I really like how you create paintings that look like film vignettes.
Ah, thank you, sir.
They always capture scenes from your memories, scenes from movies, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that most of your paintings are inspired by your passion with film and cinema. Can you tell us more about yourself, Paulo?
Um, how do I? Actually, like, yeah, I only really started painting the 2 years ago. Actually, when I was a little boy, until I was like a teen, like pre-teen years, I used to draw all the time. I remember na I used to paint this one specific iris from Van Gogh's irises again and again and again. But anyway, for years and years, when I was in high school and college, I stopped it. And then it happened, I think yun nga, 2 years ago, I was waiting in the airport for my dad. Tapos parang na-delay yung flight niya for like 4 or 5 hours. So I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? Buti na lang, I had just bought a fountain pen. Wala, on a whim lang. So I had the fountain pen, tapos I had the pad. So I just decided, oh, I'll try doing what I used to love to do. Kasi what I really enjoy about painting is the process. It's like looking at the thing, like looking at the scene, looking at the photo.
Mm.
Basta I really enjoy looking at the reference and then seeing what comes out. Kasi you don't naman, like ako, I don't really have control of it eh. It's really my eye, my hand that decides what comes out
Yes.
So, yun. And then, I just kept doing it again and again. It became this obsession. I really enjoy it so much. I enjoy, I enjoy the relationship colors. I enjoy how, kasi that's another thing Uh, pansin ko the way I see color, it's always changing Like there's this one specific red and green that I used to hate before. And it's this one. I'll show you guys if you can see. It's this It's this one. It's quinacridone scarlet. And then for the longest time, I I'd match it with different colors. Hindi talaga sila bagay. Tapos I'm like, I'm never gonna use it na. And then by chance, kasi when I paint, um, 70% I do yung alam ko na that I like. And then 30% that's where I experiment. Para at the end of it, I like it pa rin. Uh,
Yes.
so, and then anyway, I realized super bagay dito with phthalo green. So it's those two And if you see my last two paintings kasi, I'll show you guys lang last. I used it a lot I featured it a
Surrounded by
lot in my last two
materials.
paintings Ayun. See, it's the two colors the leaves and the trees.
Mm.
I only realized na, I don't know, to my eye,
That
parang
that
bumagay
you
sila recently
you don't
Yeah.
realize that you're creating a signature pattern.
No, kasi I feeling ko I'm just collaborating with colors Like, I don't want to take another credit Kaming lahat Me and colors and like
It's a play of
nature.
colors. Yes.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Actually,
A collab with
well,
colors.
collab with colors. That's the very first time that I've ever heard that from
Oh.
anybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know naman, Fab, we've been doing this for how many weeks now?
Yeah.
So um,
Every
that's a really
actually
unique work.
every week is always a fresh, like, we learn so much every week from the artists, and this is really
Mm,
fun.
mm.
I really like this. Thank you guys.
So because you've been showing us some of the colors, what are the good paints and brands for beginners to try?
Mm.
I suggest not using yung brands that are cheaper kasi ang nangyayari the amount of pigment ratio like
Uh-uh.
if it's pure kasi if there's more pure pigment there's more well let's say with watercolor you want to try watercolor it's better to buy the higher end brands kaya kasi my color pay off like the color does it's
Mm,
you don't need to get as much for it to be talagang how do I say for it to be I don't know for you to see it for you to enjoy it because
mhm,
it shows it's not the cheaper brands kasi have other chemicals that they mix in tapos may
mhm.
what's the word so there are other
This
elements that
water.
make the colors look yeah parang fuzzy parang may
Yeah.
nakapatong na white layer na isn't so
Mm,
Yes, I
tapos
agree.
another thing with brushes naman I suggest using yung this is what I use all the time it's a uh, silver black velvet brush. Tapos it's a mix kasi of synthetic
dapat
and
may
square
ganon.
hair.
Parang
Yeah,
makeup.
yeah. Yeah. It's a mix of synthetic and square hair.
Yes.
With that
Yeah.
mix, it holds its point The problem kasi when you paint, especially with when you're painting with water, the brush as water leaves the brush, mawawala yung point Parang gumaganon siya
Oo.
It splays Tapos yung wala ka ng control. Whereas with a mix
Oo.
of synthetic and squirrel, it holds its point talaga the whole time. So you can be more accurate
Oh.
and precise. You can be more precise and accurate. That's what I prefer to do I don't know, it depends for people Pero,
Although you should put
yun.
that in the private chat later so that I'll know what to buy because
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
sige,
planning
sige.
on
I'll give you
because I'm
tips.
Because
planning on
Mary
buying materials. Yeah.
Mary's
Yeah.
buying her restocking
No,
her
it's
art materials.
no. Me and my
Mm.
partner kasi we decided we were going to do. So if you're watching right now, you know that I'm announcing it to the
Hey,
world. So
Chris
wala nang
Venture.
bawian na. Wala nang bawian na.
Oh,
Um, so basically, what we do is we're trying to kind of do this long distance thing. So sabi ko, okay, maybe we
oh
can
wow.
Oh
paint
my god.
together. Ganyan.
Did we
Usually
just
siya
make
yung
it public?
yeah, no, it's okay. I'll edit it. So Lisa said, "What inspired you to paint, and do you choose the colors intentionally?" So I'm not sure though, Lisa. I think Lisa is one of our. I do remember that Astrud. I think your painting before was delivered to Miss Lisa. So Miss Lisa, thank you so much for watching today. And Miss
Thank
Lisa said, what
you.
inspired you to paint? Do you choose the colors intentionally, or is it well thought out, or the choice of colors the same with subject? Do they just come to you?
For me, what inspires me to paint is actually my experiences and observations around me. And in choosing the colors, actually, I just pick randomly whatever is vibrant or whatever I vibe with. And
Mm-hmm.
I love mixing colors and
Mm,
blending them, as well as making textures also. As
yeah.
long as long as the paint it enhances the subject itself, I'm already
Yeah.
satisfied with that.
So I just want to just make a mention here. Hello, Fons. Thank you so much for watching, Fons. Fons said, I love the textures I get out of my shitty cheap brushes, though.
I, I
Then,
have
there's
okay.
always.
I confess also that I'm the same because whenever I paint,
Yeah.
I kind of ruin paintbrushes.
Yeah. It's a
So a
matter
lot of
of
the
preference, eh.
paintbrushes
Oo.
are kind of disposable for me. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I tend
Oo.
to buy the cheaper ones.
Yeah. And
So
it
that's
depends
for
what you
me.
want it to look like, eh.
That's for me. Yeah, that's for me. But of course, everyone's different with their processes. But yeah, I have to admit
Mm.
that also. I have a question for everyone. So my question is, so does your art kind of distract you from your, has it ever happened, distract you from your academics? And if it has, can you share perhaps? And this is a question from Miguel. And this is for everyone, ah.
Mm,
Uh,
I don't know.
They
I
don't
think
want
I
they
just
don't want to.
you just choose to ignore the academics and then you go to the art. It's like your coping mechanism. You're just like, I like you. Maybe I'll do this schoolwork tomorrow. So it's not more of like a distraction. It's like I can't deal with this right now. I'm just gonna draw something.
Yeah. It's the
That's
same
that's
with me.
kind of
ah, yeah.
um,
Same for you, Paulu, as well.
Yeah, it's the same. I get distracted,
Yeah.
eh. And then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do the other thing na lang.
yeah. It's like productive procrastination.
Yeah, you're still
You
doing
mean?
something.
Yeah, I'm doing something, but not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But I think kasi with art, it's like it's tangible. So you're like, oh, I made something. But if you're like in online classes, you're just like,
Yeah.
this again. Yeah.
Oh no. There. So,
Uh,
before we go any further, we still have more questions for you guys. But before we go any further, let me just show the work that you have submitted for.
Yeah.
So, just to let everybody know, we have an exhibit ongoing, and the title of the exhibit is Electric Youth. And these artists that we have today are part of the Electric Youth exhibit. So, here is the first one. We have Overwhelming Emotions by Astrud Moscoso. Ayan. Fab, or maybe Astrud, you can let
Yeah.
us know more about Overwhelming Emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This painting represents how I am fascinated with dreams. The stories and images that our minds create are bizarre. The unique state of consciousness that incorporates experience of the present, processing of the past, and preparation of the future are highly notions can be brought together. The mind is a powerful thing. So, and that's what
Mm,
Electric Youth's about. Despite the manifestations, we have the capability to allow ourselves to think, to turn into those manifestations into a daydream that sends out energy to the world. So,
Mhm. I
yeah.
love it. So I was gonna ask if when you say dreams, if it was actually like night dreams or daydreams, and then you just mentioned. So this is like a waking dream, almost like a
Yeah,
waking dream.
somewhat like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Astrid, I
Um,
have a question for you. Quick lang. So I remember
Okay.
when you were starting to put up your profile at artstockph.com, and you mentioned that also your art is also inspired by your fear of becoming a full adult. Can you tell us
Yes.
more about that?
Um, Being an adolescent's very overwhelming and intimidating. Having a contradictory response to adventure, which can be very exciting and very scary at the same time, particularly in attempting and doing something new or daring to face the unknown. By that, most people are afraid, especially me, in thinking of what people are gonna say about you. Let's just look at it as a fearful excitement in growing up, wherein the other side is a fear of fascination, because fear is never boring. Eh. Fear stimulates excitement and focuses attention.
Yeah.
grabe, di
I
ba?
was really,
Ang lalim. Hindi
I
ko
really
pinuhan.
wonder, I wonder if your age is really your age. Really. No, man.
I was
Hindi
really
ko kaya
wondering,
kaya.
did we have to prepare? No one told me to prepare.
No, but you know what?
I was
I'm
very
really,
confused.
I'm so, I'm so in on board with what you just said about fear because unless you are willing to really jump into it, and I keep telling Fab this even before, like everything that you ever wanted is
Yes.
on the other side of fear.
Yes.
So if you want it, you're gonna have to push through whatever it is that you're feeling, and fear
Yes.
is the most pervasive thing that stops people from making things happen. So
From
I
a
think that
yeah.
I'm going to just move to the next art now. Although I have some more questions here. I have a question from Colette Bautista, and Colette said, "How did you get into professional art, and what tips can you give to those who want to start, especially at a young age?" I think we you all have already managed to answer how you got into art. But if you have any tips later, mamaya na siguro sa closing natin, I'd like you to
Mm-mm.
think about the tips that you would like to give to those who want to start, especially at a
Yeah.
young age. We'll do this at closing, Miss Colette. All right, but thank you so much for the question. Ayan. Let me move to Kiara's submission for Electric Youth, which ito na yung actual one. A while ago, you saw the one that is black-lighted. Oh, wait lang,
Mm-mm.
naglo-load pa siya. It's actually raining pretty hard right now outside.
Yes,
Yeah,
really.
beyond
Thunder and
gardening.
lightning. Ganon din ba
Yeah.
where you are?
Kanina
Yes.
umaga.
Yeah, it's
It's a
same
good
with
thing
Kanina
that
me.
umaga.
I'm a little far away from the balcony, so hindi masyadong naririnig. But here you go. So we've got Vivid by Ciara Gan, which is at 16 by 20 in oval canvas. And as you saw a while ago in her profile slide, that this is glow in the dark piece as well. So, Ciara, tell us a bit more about Vivid.
Okay, so I my dog is getting angry. He fights the thunder. Stop it! Sleepy.
Oo, medyo takot. Oo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so Vivid is basically something I just came up with after having this very weird dream, which is like it's really cool that Astrid is also about dreams because mine is also about dreams because a dog.
Okay lang
Because
yan.
I find that dreams are very fascinating because they have like they create stories in your minds that
Mhm.
never really happened. It's like you're unaware of something that happened, but sometimes it can feel so real, and
Yes.
it's such a mystery. Like you wonder, did it actually happen? And why am I thinking like this? How does this connect to my real life? And
Mhm.
so, ayun, like Vivid is basically inspired by one of my dreams, which is the outside world. Because I feel like especially in quarantine, we've been having more like vivid, reoccurring dreams about the outside world, about going out, which is, I think it's such a great thing because we're able to go outside even in our dreams when most of us are stuck at home. So I find that, wow, it's deep. Dreams are the escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, ayun nga, I also like what Astrid said about like the fear of dreams and stuff and how it can manifest into reality because there's this one saying I think if your dreams don't scare you enough then they're not ano ba yun? They're not as big. What was the quote? I think if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. That was the quote. So this painting specifically, um, I wanted to add like some elements that represent me, like flowers, the sun, which is I believe like my favorite ball of light in the galaxy. Flowers and with the impasto kind of texture to it. And then I also added glow in the dark stars because as I said, I wanted it to be personal. So in the room, my room, the last thing I see before I go to sleep are stars. So the glow in the dark stars, not real stars, but those are the last things that I see before going to sleep. And I feel like whenever I see those, it's like okay, time to dream, time to go to sleep. And that's why it's called vivid because it usually leads to um, that time of the day when I'm about to go to the dream state. REM.
Yeah.
Dream state. I feel like I'm ano, Inception ba yun? Not like that, ha? Yung ano,
Yeah.
yung maganda, hindi yung horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kiara. And that's beautiful because also this is a this is a piece that is slightly different from what you're used to creating, and I really appreciate that. And I can't stress this enough that I really believe that for artists to succeed, you have to figure out your signature visual styles and then develop and then work your way from there, you know. And you three basically already figured it out, and you guys are
Thank you.
experimenting from there, like
Bring
sticking
it out.
with the visual styles. Yeah, sticking with the visual styles, not, straying away from it, but experimenting within that style. So that's pretty cool. That's really good. And really
Thank
cool.
you.
So let's check because I think we lost. Did we? I think, yeah, we lost Mary, but she'll be back in a
Yeah.
few. Let's look at the audience because, yeah, okay, I'm seeing a lot of comments here, but I have more questions for all of you. So one question for everyone is, what is your goal for the near future? So we're not talking about what do you want to be when you grow up. We're talking
Bad
about
question.
the next, yeah, let's say in the next 2 years. What are we to expect from Kiara? What are we to expect from Paulu? What are we to expect from Astrud? Let's start with Paulu.
So I'm gonna say that's such a difficult question, pero sige.
It
I was gonna
is.
say it's hard to answer. Siguro, well, first thing is to finish thesis. So that's the thing I've been delaying for the longest time. Finish that and then I've been applying for different artist residencies. I've been
Mm,
applying for kasi I learn from seeing other people's work, from how other people make things. I enjoy it eh. I
yeah.
enjoy siguro I just wanna see that's why I enjoy this rin eh. I paint not so much. The main reason why I paint is kasi parang I really enjoy processes eh. I like how it's like magic to me when colors interact. It's like cooking
Mm-mm.
eh. When you see like let's say shrimp, parang I remember I cooked shrimp kasi for the first time parang last week lang eh. Parang I was so surprised na ang bilis daw niya eh in high heat.
Mm-mm.
Parang from being like it's like gray self, parang it blooms into this
That's
like
true, and you can't overcook
majestic
it.
thing. Yeah, you can't. Parang 6 seconds lang per side. And it's so fast. For me, painting is like that eh, na parang, I guess it's hard, I guess that's why it's hard for me to answer the question. Kasi being like a person na more interested in craft, and then I think I'm more of like parang I see myself more of like a artisan than artist.
Mm-mm.
So, I don't think so much, parang hindi masyadong grand yung ano ko eh. I don't think so far ahead eh, because I like being in the moment, repeating, making the thing, trying
Mm.
to make it better. Yun.
Yeah, yeah. But I would comment on you being an artisan. I truly believe that you are an artist.
Oh, thank you, thank
Yes.
you.
I would have to say that. Astrid, how about you?
Hard question. But of course, I want to finish and graduate architecture, and as much as possible I'm hoping to take masters also.
Mm.
Uh, in the future, my goal is to be an artist and leaving a mark by making a statement, to invent, to cause reaction, and to change perspective in creating my own things that other people can benefit from it too. Sometimes the things I do may not work for other people, but it's a
That's
step in the right direction that contributes to human evolution and transformation.
mm, that's true. I don't know why, but whenever Astrid answers, I go,
He's right. He's
right.
right. Huh.
Thank you, Astrid. Yeah, totally, totally. Artists, and actually, you've seen. I think everyone has seen the effect of art and what the artists have been creating during the pandemic, the ECQ especially.
Yeah.
Because without art, I don't think people are sane right now. It's what
Yeah.
keep it's what kept everyone sane. Art, music, film, visual arts, performance art, all of those things. That's really cool. Thank you, Astrid.
Thank you.
Kiara, I know
For
you also have a lot on your plate right now, but
yes.
what what can we expect from Ciara Gan in the next 2 years?
Um, my dog. um, Sophie. Okay, so I feel for the next 2 years, I'm still going to be pursuing my degree, but I want, as I've always said, I've been passionate about science and art, both of those things. So I would love to find probably a new and innovative way to mix the two. Other than that, for my YouTube channel, I'm taking conscious steps to try to put out the content that I want and hopefully inspire other people to also make art, because I feel like that's one of the best feelings ever when someone tells you, "Oh, you inspire me to make something that I want to make," and I feel like that's amazing. Um,
Mm-mm.
Moreover, my sisters are like amazing. I'm in the living room, so kind of hard to talk like seriously. But um, for my goals for YouTube, it's ultimately just to create what I want to create and hope other people enjoy it too, and develop and grow at the same
Mm-mm.
time with my art,
Yeah.
with my personality, with how I see the world, and how I become more sensitive to other people, to humanity, all that stuff. Um, Other than that, for the next 2 years, I just want to grow. That's it. I want to grow and hopefully help other people do the same. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Kiara. Actually, Kiara, I'm wondering, are you going to pursue fashion design as well? Or
Um,
is there going to be
mm,
a Kiara Gan brand in the future?
I don't know. I don't. As of right now, I don't. I've never really thought about fashion design. Like people are just like,
Yeah.
you should do fashion design. I'm like, huh? I just I'm more of like, oh, this is DIY. I want to change what I have. I want to do something like embroidery. I want to knit a sweater. It's just these personal hobbies that I don't necessarily
Yeah.
think that you have to pursue as a career, because they're the
Yes.
things that make me happy. So I don't really want to attach monetary value to it as of right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can. sometimes it can feel like work if you always capitalize off your hobbies. So
That
I
is
want to
true.
have like some things left, maybe in the future, but right now I want to have
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Thank you, Kara. And so to our audience who are watching, remember you can find the profiles of Kiara, Paulu, and Astrud on our platform, artstalkph.com. And now we have Mary back. Hello,
I know my
Mary.
internet just went to the dogs. That's what
Hi.
It,
happens when
that's what happens when it
when
rains really hard.
it rains really hard. Yeah, I don't know what happens when my internet goes to the dogs. But anyway, I know that I left it at that. So, sige, go ahead, please, Paolo. I was gonna ask you, Fab, to just go ahead and share your screen na lang because you have a copy. So everybody, though, you all have a copy. Don't forget of this deck. And the copy is right there. It's scrolling down below. You can see it. It's
Okay.
bit.ly/BWAS2E5. Okay, go ahead,
Mhm.
Paolo. Sorry, Paulo. I have
Follow.
never
I
stayed so long anywhere,
yeah,
but in
it's
memory.
difficult. It's a difficult thing to know. But yeah, uh, what where do I start? Actually, it took me a longer time to think of that title than painting the painting the whole thing. Um, I guess with this work, like with most work is that I do, it's more about another. It's more as I was saying, it's more about process. I enjoy kasi the process.
Mm-mm.
It
Mhm.
took me siguro a longer time to really start getting into painting as often as I do now. Kasi it's hard to find. I like to. I enjoy just
Mhm.
finding my own way of doing things. So it's only
Mhm.
recently, I think for 2 or 3 years, but I finally found a way na I enjoy it. So with this work, it is. Hmm, I think kasi a lot of it. Usually, what inspires me is looking at things slowly, and then
Mm-mm.
seeing how I translate it. With this kasi,
Mhm.
I think it was a time na I was super inspired by old. Do you remember if you guys remember yung mga silly symphony, the Disney silly symphonies,
Mhm.
old Disney cartoons from the 1920s and 30s. So
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I think that it's more. I was really inspired by how they use color kasi there in the backgrounds of their animations. Tapos and then I wanted them to ano eh. Usually kasi I paint one scene eh. So I wanted to see
Mm-mm.
how kasi diba I'm interested in how colors interact. But I wanted to see in this instance, and I think I made a whole season of it eh, na how different scenes naman interact. Like on how
Yes.
they're arranged and how the colors in the scenes interact rin. So yun,
Mhm.
uh, it's something I
So,
ano,
what inspired you to
I
actually make it aside from colors? Was this inspired by anything in particular aside from
I think
your
I'm
love
more
for
success.
cinema?
I think kasi I'm more successful pag walang masyadong well, kasi when I get emotional, when I feel sad, when I feel mad, when I paint in emotional state, I always don't like the outcome eh. Parang I
Mm-hmm.
get to tapos I make bad decisions, tapos yun,
Mm-hmm.
I need to be in a neutral state. Eh. So it's hard for me to to like give like something something inspired me. Because I think my most
Mm-hmm.
successful work walang there's no inspiration eh. It just is eh. Parang that's what I like about it eh. Kasi even I don't know where it comes from eh. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I enjoy it so much. Kasi suddenly it's there na eh. Na I'm doing it 4 hours, 5 hours, and then it's done. And then I look at, oh wow, I didn't even think it would get there. Yun.
Yeah, like how time just passes by when you're
Yeah, it
making art. I
disappears.
think like that's the best
Yeah,
feeling.
diba?
You're just like, oh, it's 12
Yeah,
a.m.
it's super
Yeah.
meditative eh. Parang
Yeah.
I
you're
don't
in a
know if
different zone.
Fab, when I was gone, were you able to ask Haley's question to the artists? Or hindi pa?
Which
Okay,
one
let
is
me
that?
just push that onto the screen. So Haley was
Ah,
asking,
no,
how can you
not yet.
reach there? So that's her question. I think I'm just gonna segue to that because Paulo was just talking about that earlier. Like you don't even notice the time, and now that
Yeah.
you are making art, how can you encourage younger audiences that making art is actually a valid career path? Some people don't really consider it as such. And then what opportunities opened up when you started getting into art? Yeah. So this is for all of you guys. Like my, siguro just to share a story, my mom's an artist, but she
Ah, wow.
specifically told me, even though we had an affinity for art and music, she told me that, stick to your sciences and your maths because walang pera dyan.
Same.
Anak,
Yeah, I also had
anak
that.
walang pera dyan.
I had the same
Same.
doctrine many times.
Mm,
I think yung for Astrud,
The same
kasi
with me. Yeah, the same
art
with
and architecture, they can be
yeah.
combined together. Like that's the course you get if you want to be an artist. If you're an artist, because my sister, she used to do art, and then
Mm-mm.
parang fine arts wasn't really encouraged because yun nga Philippine economy and stuff. So she chose to go architecture, and for me, I can't really say much about that because I personally chose practicality over the the choice to go for a fine arts course. And wow, I'm sounding so negative, but the great thing about art is you can do it both. You can do both things. So if you want to
Yeah.
pursue more in science, you can also on the side do something that's related to art because it's not exclusive. If you want to be like diverse in terms of talent, you have a long time to figure out your art style. And while you're doing that, you can also learn other things. So in the end, you can. Sister's phone is ringing. So in the end, you're able to explore a lot of careers. So, for example, if I one day don't want to do anything that has to do with programming anymore, I can always go to art after. And you don't have to have a specific age to start doing art. That's the great thing about it. You just have to build up your own experiences and make whatever you want to make. And then
Yeah.
if people see that you are passionate in what you're doing, eventually it's gonna show and you're gonna have a career in it. So yeah.
True.
yeah.
Yeah. Paulo, I forgot to ask, what are you taking up right now?
I'm taking media studies, major in film.
All
Yeah,
right.
but
Okay.
it's mostly research. Like my main area of study is early silent cinema. So me, it's pre-cinema. Like
Mhm.
um, it's before like from 1896 to around 1910. Yun.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. So siguro I'm just gonna maybe extend that question a little bit further by
Okay.
asking, if you look at it right now, none of your courses, even though related to art, is actually not fine arts. So do you think
Valid.
that
Yeah.
thinking like an artist has helped you in your actual course, in your course as an architect or in media arts? Do you think thinking like an artist can actually be applied to the course that you're taking right now?
Mm,
Ayun.
Um.
in okay. In
Sige.
studying architecture, actually painting helped me to discover and explore myself and also the surroundings. And it helps me also pay more attention to details at the same time, um, executing perspectives in a different way on how I look at things. Yeah.
I like that. Okay. How about you, Paul? Do you get to
Uh,
apply
I get to
like
apply it siguro in the sense na the way of thinking kasi, especially with early cinema, to them kasi it is the first, it is parang a reality altering change eh. Kasi at that period, medyo bago na, parang ano nga, it's like now eh. Pero whereas now, it's by internet. So, social media, these things are new eh, more or less in the past 30, 20 years eh. Pero at that time, yung bago naman, kunyari, di ba, it's internal. During that period, bago lahat, eh. Bago yung ref, bago yung electricity, bago yung air, wala pang airplane eh, yung train, yung transportation, yung motor car. And the thing that topped it off, yung parang I would say yung pre-internet was film. Was film. So,
yeah.
like I said, it was the first time na people were able to see themselves na talagang like moving. It was a reality alternate experience eh. Parang it was more na about more than narrative. It was about spectacle. Like, wow,
Yeah.
parang fireworks eh. It's amazing eh. So I guess in that sense, parang similar kami ng disposition. Like with how people used to see films then. I think that's how I see color eh. Kasi it's all new rin to me eh. That's how I see,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's all like, I see everyone's works, I see Astrud and Kiara's works. Grabe lang how they use color eh. Napansin ko, my a little dream that I have na I wish everyone, lahat artists. Kasi that would be nice eh. You scroll down your feed, tas puro, it's all different ways of using color, different ways of seeing.
Mm-mm.
Amazing yun eh. Yeah, I think that's how, ano, I
Yeah.
think in that sense.
I really like that because the Sir Ken Robinson recently passed away, and that's really I'm so sad about that because I didn't even get to meet him. I wanted to at least attend one of his keynotes, but he passed on. And he was the one who said that schools, he said, kill creativity,
I
and and
agree.
that um, and that kids, for you to actually be successful at whatever job you're going to have in the future, that you have to have that the creativity of an artist. You have to break down
Yes.
things because artists are unafraid. In
Yung way of
essentially, they're
seeing eh.
unafraid to
Oo.
explore.
I just wanted to like talk on that. I was just talking about it with my friends just a while ago. I was saying that I kind of miss the time when there wasn't online classes because I had time to make art
Mhm.
because I felt like I was like much happier back then as compared to now because no, like in the education system of the Philippines is neoliberal, so your grade is based on the output that you have. So
That's
Mm.
true.
I that's why I'm very like with school because even though
Mhm.
I love it and even though I love learning, like it's great someone's grading you based on what you create, and I think that's ultimately why I didn't go art school because I didn't want to be told that oh your art isn't good enough. That I feel like that's why I did like kind of tried to stray away from fine arts. I didn't want a professor
Mm-mm.
telling me that oh maybe you should maybe you should improve in this, and I like that constructive criticism, but I don't want my degree to rely on what I create as an
Mhm.
artist.
Okay. I like that. Okay,
Mm.
there's so many more that we can actually discuss, but unfortunately, we are out of time. So,
Ah,
as a closing, guys, let me just pull back my slides here just to let everybody know. Their art right now is overwhelming emotions, vivid, and I have never stayed so long anywhere but in memory. And they're now available at artstockph.com. So you can just visit the site. And Fab, do you have any last words for tonight?
Well, again, thank you for joining us in another Brush with Artists episode. Join us again next week for Unfiltered naman on Tuesday, 9 p.m. It happens every Tuesday. So stay
Mhm.
tuned with that. That's a one-on-one conversations with our artists. So eventually we will be doing one-on-ones also with Kiara, with Paulu, and with Astrud. So stay tuned. And
Okay.
what else, Mary? Did I miss anything?
Wala naman. Just visit the site and support our artists. Alam mo yun?
Yes, please.
Art is not food, guys, but it's food for the soul. Okay, so
totoo.
all right, with that, good night, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to Brush with Artists. See
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
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 Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.